All right, time has come. My favorite segments here. I'm putting Reggie on the hot seat with what does it mean, covering all the latest hot topics in Minnesota sports. First up, Game one of the Stanley Cup kicks off tonight as the Lightning and Avalanche square off in Colorado. Plenty of storylines and intriguing observations heading into the finals matchup, including, of course, the Lightning looking for their third Stanley Cup win in a row. What does it mean when it comes to what you're most excited about in this final postseason matchup of the 2022 NHL season?
It's like the best against the best, right?
That's what you want.
That's exactly what you want. And what's funny is, for lack of a better phrase here, the Lightning kind of hit the Rangers with an avalanche after they looked cooked really to start that series. And all of a sudden, the Lightning was just like, oh, yeah, we've been here before. It's okay. We'll handle business. And they just went on and surged and just like we talked about it, they whooped that trick. And it was just interesting, like seeing it happen in real time. It was just like, whoa, like this is some, on one end, you're just like, this is some epic lemon booty by the Rangers right here. But then you're just like, oh, well, I mean, the Lightning are heart of a champion. Going for three straight. What a dominant team this Lightning team has been. That being said, once I saw the Avalanche in their first playoff series, I was just like, yeah,
Yeah, nobody. Yeah.
it's over. And so, okay, Vasi was thought to be like just this all-world goaltender, right? And he is very great. But he showed a little bit in the last couple of series, like, oh man, well, especially this last series early on, it was just like, oh man, he is human.
You can get after
They
him. Yeah.
can get to him. And the Avalanche have done such a great job of just scoring goals at nauseam. Like some of the highest scoring playoff games that we've had, they've been involved in this postseason. And so you're just like, oh, and they're going to be coming after the Lightning strong. That being said, like you can't underestimate Tampa Bay because, like I said, they are the reigning champions and they have been there before. Two straight seasons they've been there, and you're just like, okay, all right, you don't want to count them out per se, but I've said like long ago, like when I saw the Avalanche, I was like, this team is winning the cup. And I kind of stick by that because this team has been one of the most dominant throughout the whole postseason. And really the season in general, they had a great regular season. And I was hoping for the Wild, man, and I was just like, woo, like they get past the Blues, like it's gonna be rough for the Wild against the Avalanche, and they didn't get past the Blues. But then the Avalanche whooped up on the Blues, then they whooped up on Edmonton. You're just like, okay, yeah, who's next? And look, like I said, all respect to the champs, but I just can't see it. The Avalanche are just too strong.
Remember those last few weeks going into the playoffs, end of the season? It was always Wild of the Blues, two of the three seed, two of the three seeds, scratch and claw, and every game matters. You kind of forgot about like, yeah, we don't even talk about the number one seed because the
Right?
Avalanche are so high up. They were so clear and above, better than everybody else, not only in this conference but the entire NHL. It's no secret. It's no surprise. They clearly are. I think you put a gun to a lot of people's heads and you say, yeah, Avalanche are the best team. Lightning, though, it's just like, man, third time in a row. Maybe
I
there's something
mean,
about
yeah.
being on the big stage that you just can't put a price on the experience of these guys being on that stage for the first time. There's just this but when you talk about the Avalanche are the better team. So it's going to be a great matchup. Game one tonight. Can't wait. 7 p.m. Puck drops. ABC. We'll be back here tomorrow for sure to follow up with that one. Next one up. What does it mean? ESPN's biggest mini camp storylines across the NFL included both Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson, both of whom are looking for new contract extensions coming off those rookie deals. Between the two, what does it mean when it comes to which player is more pivotal for their team's overall success? I mean, which team has more pressure on them to lock up their franchise signal caller for the long term sooner rather than later?
So when I look at this, only one of the two has been a league MVP. To me, is Lamar Jackson, like without a doubt. When they don't have him, I mean, God bless Tyler Huntley. You know what I mean? He filled in as well as you can possibly imagine, right? That being said, like both of these guys are pivotal to their teams, like because without them, those teams are coleslaw, you know, like they're not they're not going places. But Lamar, I think, is more pivotal to his team just because like we've seen what he can do in this league when he is on. And for me, this is really puzzling. I think both of these guys have things to prove as far as like them getting their teams to the next level. I think Kyler has way more to prove than Lamar Jackson does. But it's just so interesting if these are guys that you are hitching your wagons to. You know, the Ravens ripped up the whole playbook a few years ago and decided they were going to play to Lamar's strengths and really build the offense around him. If you're going to do that, keep that same energy when it's time to pay him.
Right.
Like it is the most like puzzling thing when you think about it because you're just like, is this dude not producing for you? And then you go out and you trade his top receiver to Kyler Murray and the Cardinals and Hollywood Brown, and you're just like, all right, we know Lamar loves to throw to his tight ends, but who else do you expect him to throw to? Didn't really give him a whole lot of help this offseason, but they're expecting to be better. They're expecting to compete with the Bengals and the Browns and the Steelers, I guess, in that division to be like lead dog. And you're just like, well, Lamar needs some more weapons. And I do understand, all those running backs who got hurt last year are going to be back this year. And, maybe they try to establish themselves as more of a running football team with Lamar's legs and with all the complement of running backs that they have, Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins, and those guys. But you're just like, okay, what are we doing here? What, like, the money is green, ain't it? Pay these dudes. And really, honestly, too, looking at it from the Cardinals' perspective, Kyler Murray has no excuses. Like, none whatsoever. This dude has so many weapons out there. They lose Kirk, but they gain Hollywood. He has something to prove. Kyler Murray, like, by far, has the most to prove out of, I think, any quarterback in the league this year with what they've set up around him, what he's demanding from the team, which is a new contract because he believes he's worth it. And he is a dynamic player out there, but the proof is in the pudding, young man. It's time for you to get out there and will this team not only to the playoffs, but to some meaningful playoff wins to justify what you are hoping to get.
I think a case can be made for either one for sure, but you said it, MVP, most valuable player. You take each one of these guys out of their offense, out of their team. Heck, Colt McCoy jumped in for Kyler Murray last year, and it's like, man, Cardinals, they're not bad. I mean, under Colt McCoy, it's like they didn't really skip a beat that much. I expected a big drop-off, and it's like, all right, Colt McCoy can hang still a little bit. All right, I'm not seeing that much of a drop-off. You take Lamar out, and like you said, Tyler Huntley, God bless you, sir, but you're no Lamar Jackson. It's just one of these things, too, that's puzzling, as you said. It's the most important position in all of sports, pitcher being second. Look at the contracts these other quarterbacks are getting paid. I mean, you can't be surprised or shocked if you're the GM or front office that, yeah, you're going to have to pay him a boatload of money, and guess what? You get out of it what you put into it. You're getting Lamar Jackson. Some of these GMs or front offices have a little bit of hard time swallowing that tough pill that, man, we got to make him, the highest paid player in the league right now? Yeah, it's only for now. Remember when Kirk Cousins signed that 3-year, $90 million, all guaranteed money, and everybody lost their minds? 2-3 years from that, he was like ranked 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. That's what you have to do. It's just part of the process. You don't want to start to penny pinch and get cheap when it comes time to paying your franchise face of the franchise quarterback. Come on.
Let's do it.
And I also fully expect, by the way, Cliff Kingsbury was quoted by saying, I'm praying we get a deal done before training camp with Kyler Murray. I still fully expect both these guys to get deals done before training camp. Last thing you want, especially if you got a Super Bowl on your mind. If you're a team that's ready and poised to go deep into the playoffs like the Ravens are ready to do, last thing you want is this black cloud going into training camp about an
Exactly.
off-the-field issue like not paying your, again, face of the franchise, Lamar Jackson. Figure it out. I fully expect that deal to get done over these next few weeks for sure.